what's up, y'all? Scott from Paddle Florida Keys. Just got through with the Everglades boot camp. Getting ready for the EC300 this year. I was out there with Josh Collins, Veterans Voyage. He and I are both two of the 4 people who've completed this thing on paddleboard, and we wanted to start giving some of our fellow paddleboarders some tips to help them complete as well. It's probably the hardest event you'll ever do. You'll go beyond where you've ever been before physically and mentally. But what I want to talk about today is some of my gear selections, because I'm still packed up from the trip, so I'm going to unpack and pull out stuff that I used so you can see kind of an idea of what we used on this trip, and the whole reason for this trip was a shakedown for the Everglades Challenge. So first of all, right on deck, I like to have my deck box. This is the stuff I want to get to quickly, stuff that I don't have access to, that I don't have to dig around and find. Anytime you spend not paddling is time that you're wasting and not making it to the finish line. I can't really make you a better paddler at this point. You only got a couple months to go. You might pick up a little bit of speed, but if you can pick up a lot of speed by not monkeying around with your gear so much, that's what I'm interested in doing today, okay? We'll talk about some training ideas and stuff in the near future, but first of all, for my dock box, I got a picture of me and my wife, so it's something to remember when times get tough. Something to look at besides just the water and the beautiful world around you. But I find that's handy to have her there. Inside my dock box, I got my dry eyeglass container. You may or may not need one of them. Sunscreen, sunscreen, sunscreen. Get some good stuff and use it, okay? You will burn up out there if you don't. Now, if it's for the EC, I always have a headlight, which I do not wear around my head. I wear it around my neck, like so. If you put it on your head where you have a hat, you take your hat off, there goes your headlight. If you have it here, you have access to it. If you need to, you can tighten it up a little bit more, and you can put it on your chin. Mostly I just use it like a little quick light to look at something on my board, okay? Flashlight is a must at night. Now what happens, I have a better flashlight. This is the Princeton Tech League. This is, I don't know, I think it's about a 750 lumen, something like that. But you need something that's not so small that you can't see those reflectors at night. When you get out in the Everglades in the middle of the night, you want to be able to find those reflectors. They're a half mile away, sometimes a mile away. So if you turn this light on, you wave around a little bit, you'll see a reflector. You can line it up with a star, so you can head to that point. When you get to that point, then you turn it on, you find the next reflector, and so on. It's a little slower going at night, but this really makes it possible. I had this for the last one because I like to have a quick piece of line for doing all kind of stuff with. This probably could go in the deck bag instead of the deck box. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to move it into the deck bag. Cleaning cloth for cleaning your camera lens off. Also for wiping your glasses. Some kind of a clean cloth is very important. So you can clean your face, you can clean whatever's dirty. Leatherman tool, I prefer this one here. This is the Skilla tool. This is the carbon model, so it's super lightweight. It's got just a screwdriver, pliers, and a knife. That's all I need for most emergencies. Then I have my paddle. This is NextCare first aid tape. This is a padded tape. This works really good for putting on your paddle shaft or paddle handle. This prevents blisters, so put it on your paddle, not on your hands, because it'll roll off your hands. The other tape I have is called Leukotape. I had to buy this online. Leukotape. This is good stuff for your blisters. This will stick whether it's wet. It doesn't roll up. And I just took some of it off the roll and made my own mini roll and put that in there as well. That's pretty much all I have in my dock box. It's like I said, it's just handy stuff you want to grab, you want to keep dry. And usually this clips on like this. And I got 2 bungees, I can clip it right to my board, and it's right in front, right at my feet. All right. Next I have my deck bag. My deck bag is stuff that I'm going to need today, stuff I'm going to need sometime during the course of the day. It's It's got a handy little place for my maps. I got my compass on here. I turned this into a lighted compass by adding a little light to the bottom that I can turn on at night. It's a little red light. Probably can't see that right now, but put it in there like that, it glows at night. I just figured this out thanks to, I think Sandy Bottom had something on the internet about this. But that's a really cool little added feature there. Clipped onto my deck bag, I got my spot device. I got my, I got some carabiners to hold the deck bag down to my gear bag, which I'll show you in a minute. I got my bug spray. This, during the day, that's not so handy, but at night, you're gonna really wanna have some bug spray handy. The bugs can get pretty tough out there in the Everglades, so you definitely wanna be on top of that. Usually I also have this double carabiner off the front. I can attach my Crocs to that. That's what I wear for my paddling and camping shoes, is Crocs. They're easy on, easy off. They have a loop in the back so they don't come off if you step in muck. And then I just clip them on there during the day, and then whenever I need them, they're just handy right there. This is called the Watershed. I forget the model of it, but it's a Watershed deck bag. Super nice. I really like this bag a lot. I've been through a couple other bags. And before anybody buys anything, ask me if I have something that I'll get rid of that's close. Because I have some other deck bags I'd be willing to sell that just didn't work as good for me. They worked fine at the time, but then if you can afford the Watershed quality gear, that's the best. It opens and closes real easily. It's got just a easy Ziploc closing like that. It's super waterproof. When you want to get in, you just pop it open. None of this rolling and clipping stuff. You'll see I don't use dry bags anymore. I used to use dry bags, but they take time. They also take up, if you put them inside of another bag, they take up a lot more room because that whole closure on the top. Also in there, I'll have my charts, usually right on the top. My charts are all marked up. We'll go over charts one day as well, but I put lots of writing and stuff on my charts. I'm not afraid to just write on it. I also fold them up so that they're real easy to read for the part that I need, and I always put them with the course up. That way I know which way I'm headed. Those are just little personal things. Inside the bag, I've got my paddling hat, which is, if it's real sunny out, this has got the neck cover and everything. Sometimes I wear that, sometimes I just wear a regular cap. Got my first aid kit. I don't need a lot in my first aid kit. A couple of painkillers, a space blanket, very important. I think it's required gear. I got some gloves in there, some band-aids, you know, stuff like that. Anything major, I have a more major trauma kit in my OSB, which we'll go over later. Gold Bond friction defense. This is awesome stuff. If you start to get a rub or chafe somewhere, that can kill your race. Get some of this. If you start to feel any chafe come on, or even in the morning, if you haven't done a race this long, put it under your arms. It'll keep you from chafing. I got my VHF radio. I got my GPS, and I keep my GPS in my bag because I don't like to use it. I was just on this 300-mile trip. I turned it on one time when we were in the middle of the night and we couldn't find the chickie. Ended up being about less than 3/4 of a mile away. But I do have a GPS for emergency situations. Toilet paper. That has nothing to be. Oh, also with the toilet paper, put some hand sanitizer as well. That way you can clean, you know, in case there's any accidents or whatever. There's some chapstick in there. That really should be in my deck box. It got stowed away in there. Lip balm is always a good thing to have on hand. Got the space bivvy. These space blankets will save you, or they will save somebody else. So we're not just out there alone. If you see another paddler in trouble, help them out. If you can help them out, you might be able to save somebody's life. In the little clear packet here, I'll put handy note things. Like for this last trip, I had the tide charts for Lossman's River because we were going out Lossman's River. I had the tide charts for Joe River because we were going back in Joe River. So keep that kind of stuff right there where you can find it. I'll rotate it throughout the race as I need to. I've got tide charts already drawn up for the EC300. That's it for that. Attached to the front of my deck bag, I got my feed sack. This is the food I'm going to have today while I'm out paddling. It's right in front of me. It's fairly dry. I can just grab stuff. I still got my mango fig date combination there. I got a little bit of leftover beef jerky from the weekend. And I got some bars that I didn't eat yet. So that's the kind of thing I put in there. Stuff I'm going to eat while I'm on the fly. It's food you want to have handy and ready to eat. Sometimes I'll put that stuff actually in my pockets and my pants as well, so whatever works best for you. I found that having stuff down there, what it does for one thing is it gives me a second to stop paddling and rest, so I'll take a little bit of a break when I'm going to grab a snack. Yeah, so that's my deck bag. Alright, next we'll go over a very important piece of equipment. And last year I used an inflatable life vest. This year I plan on using a real life vest. One of the things that happened last year is that I lost my fin. I had a little problem in Florida Bay, hit some shallow ground, took the fin out, floated over to shallow ground, didn't stow it. I ended up spending the night in Florida Bay with 35-mile-an-hour winds, getting blown all around, having the board roll over on top of me, hypothermic, started making bad decisions. It ended up being okay, but it was a pretty crazy night. I never deployed my inflatable jacket. With this, I wouldn't have to worry about deploying it. If I go into water, I'm going to stay buoyant. It also keeps me a little bit warm, but I just paddle with it, and it was 80 degrees, and it wasn't that hot either. So I'm going with a regular life jacket from now on for any of these expedition races. I got my knife there. It's attached with a bungee. Everything I have is going to be tied off to something. So I got the Spyderco Salt series, so it doesn't ever rust. Rounded tip, so it doesn't. If you drop it on your foot, it won't put a hole in your foot. And that's the only knife I carry. I don't carry a big hunting knife. Josh likes a big hunting knife. See that knife? I thought I had a knife. I don't have a knife. That's a freaking knife. That's a badass knife. Look at that thing. What is that? That's like a... Wow. It's not my thing. I'm a weight weenie, and I will do anything to shave a little weight. So if I don't need it, I don't bring it. I got my emergency strobe / mini light right there in my pocket. Also bungeed off. It's just as simple as pulling it out like that, and it's already out. All I gotta do is twist it to turn it on, twist it to turn it off. If I'm out paddling with friends and they're behind me and I want them to know where I am, I can clip it to my back belt loop of my pants. I always wear cargo pants with belts because I like to have the pockets, and I also like the belt loops for hanging stuff off of. Over in this pocket, I don't have anything in that pocket. This pocket here, I got my water tribe required E-Perb. I taped the antenna down because they're kind of funny and they want to just open up on their own. So I tape the antenna down, so if I ever have to use it, I do need to make sure and pull the tape off so that the antenna comes out. Very important piece of gear. It's required safety gear. Also on my life jacket, on the zipper, I've got my whistle, and I can just bend over and blow the whistle right from where I am. And then that came in handy the other night when we were night paddling. We kind of got separated, and I usually run dark if I don't have to have lights on. And Joe couldn't find me. He blew his whistle, I blew my whistle, and we realized we weren't that far apart at all. It was perfect. And then I have a carabiner here. This is what I use to attach my safety leash. My safety leash is actually a Salamander brand. I mounted it in the front of the board, right under my deck box. That way, if I come off, I'm right next to my board instead of having an ankle leash, which is all the way in the back of the board, and you have to monkey around with getting it over your gear and everything. This way, there's no gear in the way. It just attaches you to the leash. I've upgraded it with this little swivel, this little quick disconnect from West Marine. It's like 15 bucks, I think. But you can actually just use your ankle leash and put it around your belt if you want. I find that they're a little bit long, so what I'll do is take a piece of string and kind of tie some of these together so that it makes it a short leash. So my leash leash on there, but I'll make sure I know which hand I can grab it with. I do a couple of practice grabs, and usually I have a little piece of line on here as well. I don't have it on there right now, but I usually have a piece of line on here that I can grab so that I can get it off of there when it gets to be an emergency. Next, I got my water bag. This goes under my deck bag and on top of my gear bag, so it's kind of like sandwiched in the middle. I use these great big mouth water bags, so you can fill them, you can clean them. They seal up good. By putting it under my deck bag and on top of my gear bag, it's high enough off the floor that I'm not doing a big lift when I'm sucking on it. And also the weight of my gear bag, my deck bag is pressing down on it, so it squeezes it out. I put 2 of them in this bag here, and when I'm traveling to the events or whatever, I'll use this bag to have my leash, my fin, all my loose gear items, my phone bag, my cap, my sunglasses, all that stuff can go in here until I get to the event. Then I put the bags in there, and I got this thing. I'm going to add a second one of these for my dirty clothes, because you get dirty clothes. You got to have somewhere, if they're wet, then they'll fog up the inside of your dry bag, so you don't want them in your dry bag. On the back of my bag board, I carry my backup water. Can you go around behind me? Thank you. That's right. On the back of my board, I carry my spare water bag. In the Everglades, you need, there's no water resupply, so you got to bring on all your own water. So usually those 2 bags, I'll have 4 of those bags for the main part, and then I'll add a couple more of these. I'll fill those up. This will fill up 2 bags. So I'll go into the Everglades with about 4.5 gallons of water. That's really probably about a gallon more than I need, but I'd rather have an extra gallon when I get to Flamingo than to be dry and dehydrated when I get to Flamingo. About 100 miles. If you end up going inside, it's about 100 miles through the Wilderness Waterway from Chokoloskee to Flamingo. So that's a long ways to go. If you're running out of water, 20 miles out, you're hurting. All right. Let's see. Spare paddle. I prefer the Quick Blade V-Drive. I think Josh has a couple different fixed paddles. One of the cool things that Quick Blade came out with this year, though, is their 3-piece telescoping paddle. So it's got a positive lockout here like that, so it telescopes out. It's also handy in the Nightmare. You can use it at a shorter length to paddle through the really tight stuff of the Nightmare, because you're down on your knees paddling, and that paddle handle up over your head can get in the way and get hung up in some of the mangroves and stuff that's growing in the Nightmare. So I like the telescoping feature a lot. Yeah, so that's that. Last but not least, the gear bag. So in the gear bag, right on top, I've got my footprint for my tent. This is also what I put down first thing when I get to a chickie. Chickies have big slots in the boards. If you don't have something like this, you're going to drop your coins, you're going to drop your watch, you're going to drop your phone, anything will go right through those slots and be in the water and be gone. It's usually not deep, but it's very mucky and very muddy, and you just don't want to get in that water. I got a pair of gloves. I hardly ever wear them, but if it gets cold enough, I'll use them. I got my bathroom bag. Break that down in a minute. Got my charger, which goes in my bathroom bag. My speedometer, which should be in the paint bag. I like the Velocitec Makai. You've got to have a speedometer. If it's on your wrist, you're stopping paddling when you're reading your speed. You'll never achieve the speed you're looking to achieve. With a speedometer like the Makai, it constantly updates. You know if you're going 5 or 3. If I'm going 3, I'm ready to stop. If I'm going 5, I'm ready to keep going. That current tide, you can't tell how fast you're moving. But with a speedometer, you can. I do have a few of those for sale, and you can get them from me for cheaper than you can buy them on their website. So before you buy anything, give me a holler. Got my spare fin. Bug shirt. Very important to have a bug shirt. Bug spray sometimes isn't enough. Got my tent, I just went with the tarp tent. Really sweet setup. It's a one-person tent, single pole. He set it up in about 45 seconds to a minute. Working on getting that time down a little bit, but that's my tent. Sleeping bag. One sleeping pad. This is an air mattress. I like to have an air mattress, but I don't trust my air mattress, so I also have a solid mattress. See that got kicked out. I got my rain shell, which if I think it's going to be raining, I'll put in my deck bag. Otherwise, I'll leave it in my big bag. Got my tent stakes. Really don't need tent stakes unless it's windy, so I don't keep them in the tent bag because they'll just fall out every time you go to open your tent up. I got my 2 stakes that I need for my tent are already tied up to the tent. Got my cook system. We'll go over that in a minute. Got my food bag. You want to have a food bag that you can hang up somewhere. Not such a big deal in the Everglades because the pythons have eaten all the small animals, so you don't have to worry about that anymore. I got the Eagle Creek pillow. This is a sweet pillow. I've tried every kind of camp pillow, and I hate shoving clothes in a bag and trying to make a pillow out of it. This Eagle Creek inflatable pillow is the best camp pillow I've found. Not very big, worth the wait. Everything I have is worth the wait. Like I said before, I'm a weight weenie. Also, you're going to have in here your clothes bags. I don't have my clothes now. I've already taken most of them home because they were dirty from the trip. This is my dry suit. So I have a Supskin dry suit. It's custom made to fit me. I didn't have one of those last year, and I sure could have used one. Definitely pay particular attention to your clothing. It could go down to almost freezing, and it will be windy and you'll be wet, and so you want stuff that really performs well. This is my closed cell foam sleeping pad. I put this down first. I put that inflatable on top of it, and then my inflatable is only as long as my head down to my waist or so, my butt, but that gives my upper body a little bit more cushion, so it's more comfortable and easier to sleep. You definitely want to be comfortable sleeping. Let's see. This chair, a lot of people might give me crap about a chair, but I think you should get at least one comfort item when you're going on a trip. This chair is my comfort item, and as a paddleboarder, you're standing all day long. First thing you want to do is sit down. It's nice to have a sit down and have a good back support. So I got this REI chair that just pops up. It's the Flex chair, Flex Lite. They got 3 sizes. They got a low, a medium, and a high. I got the medium. The low felt too hard to get out of when I was tired. When I just tried it out in the store, I didn't buy it, but the medium seemed like a good compromise. It's a little heavier than the low rise one, but you can get in and out of it a lot easier. I can do my whole camp. I can set up my tent sitting down if I want, so it's nice to have that chair. Thermocell, can't say enough about this. This is a must-have item. Thermocell works with a little butane canister you put inside there, and you have these little things that burn in here. You light this up about 15 minutes. Light it up as soon as you wake up in the morning, stick it outside your tent, and by the time you get dressed and ready and everything, the mosquitoes are gone, the no-see-ums are gone, everything is gone. Works really good if there's no wind or just a little bit of breeze. If it's breezier, then that's when you're going to go to your backup, your sprays, and your bug shirt. But this thing right here gets them gone completely. Also at night, it's great to have because what will happen is you can turn this on, you know, for, right when you get to camp. Turn it on first thing, and then as you're setting your tent up and everything, by the time you get everything set up, you're going to be in a bug-free environment. And that's one thing that really pesters me is those bugs out there in the Everglades. I have the OSB. This is my O stuff bag. I just got like some zip ties. This actually becomes a medical trauma kit as well. I've got zip ties. I've got this gator patch here. They're one of my sponsors. This is a piece of fiberglass that cures in UV. So I can mold this into a splint. I can use this as a patch of board. I can make a fin out of this. I can do just about anything with this stuff right here. And some of these zip ties right here. And then I have this. Let's see what else we got here. tube. You have one of these, you can start a fire anywhere, no matter how wet it is. Not much weight. Dura-Res, it's a UV curing epoxy for fixing the board. Zip ties. Fire starter. I'm thinking about leaving this. I've got my stove. Matter of fact, I'm leaving that. I don't need it. I got a lighter. I got a stove that has a lighter, a built-in lighter, so I can light that fire cube without having to bring an extra thing. Duct tape. Can't do it without duct tape. And then this stuff right here. This is a Gorilla tape. It's crystal clear. It's waterproof. You can apply it when it's wet. This is my trauma kit right here. If you cut yourself wide open, you can take this and tape it just like have stitches on it. Man, I wish that crane would stop. I also have in there my charging cable for my GPS. Since I don't use the GPS that much, I keep it deep stashed because I really don't need it in the way. I got some extra batteries for my headlight, and that's it for my OSB. All right. This is the Colorado watershed bag. Look how easy it seals. Bam, I'm sealed. I don't think they sell this clear one anymore, but this is sweet. And then when you want to open it, you open like that. You've got access to everything. I'm actually considering going to a second bag, so I'm going to have less of this bag. It'll just be a little bit lower profile, so the windage won't be as bad. And in one bag, I'm going to have everything that's going to be outside the tent: my cook, my food, my maybe even my tent. I'm going to see how it all packs up. My chair, everything I want outside the tent, and then the other bag is going to be my clothes, my sleeping bag, my sleeping pad, everything I want inside the tent. But what that's going to do is I can divide the weight up better on the board, and I can also be a little bit quicker about getting in and out at night. It's all about setting up camp quick and breaking it down quick. Bathroom bag, baby wipes. You want to be able to take care of your body while you're out there. You want to stay clean. There's no showers. There's no place to really clean off. There's some hoses maybe you can hose off in every now and again. Q-tips I'm leaving out because I don't clean my ears because I'm not taking a shower, and I don't really want to like it to clean my ears as I take a shower. Some oral rinse, toothbrush, deodorant, and my recharging stuff. So I got this little solar recharger, which really I don't use it for the solar. I just use it because it's got a battery in it. And then I have another battery pack in here. I have my battery pack and my charging cable for my watch, my charging cable for my GoPro, and my charging cable for my phone. My phone will be off anyway, so I really don't need to recharge my phone. My GoPro will be off. I charge my GoPro up every couple of days. My watch has to be charged every day, and so that's about all the electricity that I use. I found the solar thing doesn't work too good because you're moving around the board. It really needs to be sitting still. So it works good if you're camping. If you're paddling, not so good. Why do I keep my battery and charging cables in my bathroom kit? Because that goes in the tent with me at night. And that's where I'm going to set up my charging station anyways, inside the tent where it's dry and I can monitor everything. I like to have two batteries so I can charge two things at once. Because I like to charge stuff up and then unplug it before I go to bed, just so I don't overcharge or overuse my batteries. I don't know if it stops or trickle charges all night long. So that's just how I do it. Again, all this is my opinion. You can do with it whatever you want. You're going to fine tune your gear to work for you. I found that having stuff sacks for everything, and then is the most compact way to store stuff. For my stove, I got this Optimus kit. All right. For the EC, I'll have a smaller size canister. As a matter of fact, I think I got it in here. I'll bring that. I don't even plan on using this stove. Chief requires you to have a way of boiling water. If I get cold, I want to be able to boil some water, drink some coffee, drink something hot. But otherwise, all my food, everything on this trip, I'm not cooking. Cooking takes time. It takes setup, it takes cleanup, it takes breakdown. It just takes time. You can get up, eat your breakfast, and go by the time you get done, and everybody else is still having their coffee. You'll be paddling. this has a heat shield. I keep the heat shield because that helps to boil faster. It also keeps the wind off the fire. And I kept the pot. There's another pot that goes on top. Don't need it. I never used it, so I left it behind. Anything you don't use, leave behind. If you get a chance to go on a camping trip before you leave, which would be great, just kind of make notes. That's what I do. I have a wet notes. I think they're in the shop right now. I have little wet notes, and I take notes all day long if I think of something, because otherwise I forget it in about 20 minutes because I'm distracted by the beautiful world out there. Also in my cook bag, gonna be my utensils, my lighter. I got a windproof torch lighter, really good. I make sure that it's always full of butane before I leave. I got salt and pepper. That's a camping item. Doesn't go on the EC. Hand sanitizer. Keep clean. When you're out there in the EC, your body is breaking down. Your immune system is compromised. You need to maintain sanitary conditions as much as possible. You're going to be pulling your tube out of the water and drinking salt water laced water and everything if your Camelback tube falls in or whatever. But always try to keep your hands clean, especially when you're eating and stuff. You're just going to be healthier for it. I got a spoon and a fork. Some people just go with a spoon. Again, I think you're allowed a few luxury items. This is a sentimental item. This is a pair of scissors that my father-in-law carried all his life, and he was kind of like my father, so I carry those scissors to remember him. Another luxury item, but it doesn't weigh much, doesn't take up much room, and it's important to me. That's it for my cook kit. That's it. Oh, and a scrubby thing. So if you get some food stuck on something, most of the time I try to make the food so you can eat in the bag and then throw the bag away. Keep the trash down. I don't like cans. I don't like pouring stuff into a bowl and then the bowl's all messy and you gotta wash the bowl out. But you never know. It comes in handy to have a little scrubby thing for stuff every now and again. That does it for my gear for the EC. The only thing I'm going to add to this kit is my current food for the EC, which is going to be, we'll go over that later, but my selections for food, and then my clothing, which I don't have right now. We'll go over clothing too at another time. I'm going to put a checklist at the bottom of the video so that you can see what my checklist is for the EC, and it actually goes over which bag has what in it. I'm very meticulous about what I have where, so that if you do it a couple times, you just always know. This is here, that's there. That's why we're talking about at least the last 4 or 5 days, if not 2 weeks before the EC. I'm going to come out back here on the back deck. I'm going to set up my tent. I'm going to get out. I'm going to pretend like I'm cooking a meal or preparing a meal. I'm going to do all the stuff that I need to do to get ready to go to bed. And then I'm going to do all the stuff I need to do to get ready to go, pack my stuff up, and see how long that takes. I highly recommend doing that 5 or 6 times at least. Get familiar with your gear. You're going to be setting up when you're tired. You're going to be dog tired. You're going to be so exhausted. You're going to push yourself to the very limit. And that's the only way you're going to finish this race, is by going at it 125%. And it's not easy, but it's definitely worth doing. And then if you have any questions or comments, just leave them below, and I'll get back to them as soon as I can. All right. Thanks for joining me, and good luck, and hope to see you on the beach. And don't forget to paddle yourself to a better place today.